Is your medication making you sick? 5 critical questions seniors must ask their doctor. Well, hello there, friend. Come on in and make yourself comfortable. Can I get you a cup of tea? You know, the other day I was talking with my neighbor, Helen, sweet woman, just turned 72, and she said something that really stuck with me. She sighed and said, "You know, I feel like I'm falling apart faster than my old sewing machine. I take all these pills, but I just don't feel right." Sound familiar? Maybe you've been feeling unusually tired lately, or a bit foggy-headed. Perhaps you've noticed new aches that weren't there before, or you just don't feel quite like yourself. And like Helen, you might be wondering, could the very medications meant to help me actually be making things worse? It's a scary thought, isn't it? But here's what I've learned after years of chatting with folks like you and experts I trust. As we get wiser in years, our bodies change. Medications that once worked like a charm might start causing trouble down the road. And sometimes, what we assume is just aging could actually be a sign that our pills need a second look. That's why today, we're going to walk through 5 critical questions every senior should ask their doctor about their medications. Simple questions, but they could make all the difference in how you feel every single day. Now, I know what you might be thinking, but my doctor's busy. Or, I don't want to be a bother. Let me stop you right there. You are never a bother when it comes to your health. Think of it like this. If your car started making a strange noise, you wouldn't ignore it, would you? You'd take it to your mechanic and ask questions. Well, your body's far more precious than any car. You deserve to understand what's going on under your own hood. So let's start with the very first question. And this one's a game changer. Ready? Here it is. Is this medication still necessary for me today? You see, doctors are wonderful, but they're human. Sometimes a medication gets prescribed years ago for a problem that's no longer relevant, or maybe it was only meant for short-term use. Take my friend Frank. He'd been on a blood pressure pill for a decade, but last year, after losing some weight and walking daily, his numbers improved. His doctor was thrilled, but Frank kept taking that pill out of habit. Then he started feeling lightheaded and weak. Turns out, his blood pressure was now too low, and that pill was doing more harm than good. Once he asked that simple question, "Do I still need this?" His doctor adjusted everything, and Frank got his energy back. Here's how to make this question work for you. Before your next appointment, grab a pen and paper. Write down every single thing you take: prescriptions, over-the-counter pills, vitamins, even herbal teas or supplements. Bring that list with you and say, "Let's go through these one by one. Are any of these no longer serving me?" You might be surprised what you discover. Now, the second question is just as important, especially if you've been feeling off lately. Could this medication be causing new symptoms I'm experiencing? Our bodies process medications differently as we age. Something you tolerated fine at 60 might hit you harder at 75. For example, common drugs like certain pain relievers, sleep aids, or even allergy medications can cause dizziness, confusion, or falls in seniors. My cousin Evelyn had been taking a popular heartburn medication for years. Then she started feeling tired all the time, and her bones seemed archier. She blamed it on getting old, until her doctor connected the dots. The medication was making it hard for her body to absorb nutrients. Once she switched to a gentler option, her vitality came back. So how do you spot this? Keep a little health journal for 2 weeks. Note any new or worsening symptoms: fatigue, mood changes, trouble sleeping, tummy troubles. Then bring it to your doctor and ask point blank, "Could any of my medications be contributing to this?" Sometimes, it's not about adding a new pill, but adjusting or removing one that's not playing nice. Now, I know we've only just started scratching the surface here, but these first 2 questions, they're like turning on a light in a dim room. They help you see what's been hiding in plain sight. And trust me, your doctor wants you to ask. It helps them help you. So let's pause here for now. You've got some powerful tools to take with you already, but there's more to explore. Gentle yet crucial questions that could transform how your medications work for you, not against you. So when you're ready, we'll pick this conversation right back up. Well, I'm so glad you're back. Pull up a chair. I just baked some oatmeal cookies. Still warm. Help yourself, while we pick up right where we left off. You know, after our last chat, Helen called me. She'd taken that first question to heart. Is this medication still necessary? And guess what? Her doctor took her off one of her blood pressure pills. Helen said she feels lighter, like a fog has lifted. Isn't that wonderful? Now, where were we? Ah, yes, you started the conversation with your doctor. You've asked about necessity and side effects. But there's another quiet troublemaker we need to talk about, especially if you're taking more than a few medications. And that brings us to our third critical question. Are any of my medications interacting with each other, or even with my favorite foods? You see, as we get older, our livers and kidneys don't process things quite like they used to. A medication that's safe on its own might clash badly with another pill, or even your morning grapefruit juice. Take my friend Martha. She'd been managing her arthritis and cholesterol just fine for years. Then she started feeling dizzy and nauseous every afternoon. Turns out, her new heart medication didn't play nice with her arthritis pill. They were working against each other like stubborn old mules. Once her doctor spotted the clash and adjusted things, Martha's kitchen became her happy place again. No more clinging to the countertop. Here's a practical tip. Don't assume your specialists talk to each other. If you see a cardiologist, a rheumatologist, and your primary doctor, you are the captain of your ship. Keep an updated medication list in your purse or wallet. Include everything, even that daily aspirin or ginkgo biloba. At your next appointment, place it right on the desk and say, "Can we check if all these get along?" It's like introducing friends at a party. You want harmony, not arguments. Now, let's move to our fourth question, one that's often overlooked but so very important. Is there a simpler way to manage this? Sometimes, less truly is more. Doctors call it deprescribing, a fancy word for trimming down your pill routine safely. Maybe one medication can do the job of two, or perhaps a small lifestyle tweak could reduce your dose. My neighbor George had been taking sleeping pills for a decade. He hated how groggy he felt each morning. When he finally asked, "Is there another path?" his doctor suggested two changes. Drinking tart cherry juice in the evenings. Sounds strange, I know, but George swears by it. And moving his nightly walk 30 minutes earlier. Within weeks, George was sleeping soundly without the pill. His secret? He dared to ask for simplicity. Think about your own routine. Do you take pills at 4 different times a day? Juggling bottles like a circus act? Next visit, gently ask, "Could we streamline this? Maybe combine doses or find one medication that covers multiple needs." You might be surprised how willing your doctor is to simplify. After all, they want you to stick to your plan, and fewer pills often means fewer mistakes. And while we're talking about routine, let me share a little trick my Aunt Ruth taught me. She kept a medicine calendar by her coffee maker. Just a simple grid where she'd check off each dose as she took it. No more second-guessing. Did I take my morning pill or not? It saved her from double-dosing more than once. Little systems like this aren't just practical. They're peace of mind in a box. You're doing beautifully, by the way. These aren't easy questions to ask, but they're so worth it. I remember when my own father finally spoke up about his dizzy spells. He'd been quiet for months, not wanting to complain. But when he showed his doctor that little health journal we talked about last time, they discovered his water pill was flushing out too much potassium. A simple adjustment, and he was back in his garden, sturdy as his favorite oak. Now, I can see you've got that thoughtful look, the one that says, "But what about the last piece?" You're right. We've got one more vital question to explore. It's about looking ahead, not just looking back. So when you're ready, we'll wrap this up with a question that could protect your tomorrows. Well, there you are. I saved you the last oatmeal cookie. Extra raisins, just how you like it. You know, sitting here with you reminds me of summer evenings on my grandma's porch. She'd rock in her chair, I'd sit on the steps, and we'd just talk. No rush. That's how we'll finish our chat today. No hurry. Just good, honest conversation about that last vital question. So far, you've got 4 powerful tools in your pocket. Asking if a medication is still needed. Checking if it's causing new troubles. Spotting harmful interactions. And seeking simpler solutions. But there's one more question. The one that looks forward, not backward. It's this. How will we know if this is working? And what's our plan to check in? You see, medications aren't set it and forget it, especially as the years go by. What works today might need tweaking tomorrow. Take my friend Barbara. She started a new thyroid pill last winter. Her doctor said, "We'll test your levels in 6 weeks." But Barbara's calendar got busy. Grandkids' birthdays, a church trip, and she forgot to schedule that blood test. By spring, she felt sluggish as cold molasses. Turns out, her dose was too high, and her body was waving a white flag. Now, here's the gentle truth. You hold half of this partnership. Your doctor can't feel what you feel or see your daily wins and worries. That's why this 5th question, about follow-up, is your safety net. Here's how to make it real. At the end of your next appointment, pause. Look your doctor in the eye, even if it's via video call, and say, "Help me understand. What changes should I watch for? When should I call you? And when's our next check-in?" Write it down together, not on a scrap of paper, but right there in your notebook or medication journal. For example, if I feel jittery or can't sleep after starting the new pill, call within 3 days. Or, blood test on October 12th, adjust dose if needed. And here's a little secret. Doctors love prepared patients. When Barbara came back with her journal, where she tracked her energy, sleep, and even her mood for 3 weeks, her doctor smiled and said, This is gold." It helped them see patterns no single appointment could reveal. Now, let's take a quiet breath together. These 5 questions, they're not about distrusting your doctor. They're about partnering with them. Like my grandma used to say while quilting, one hand guides the fabric, the other holds the needle. Both need to move together. Think of Helen, who's gardening again after trimming her pill list. Or George, sleeping soundly without groggy mornings. Or Barbara, who now sets phone reminders for her blood tests. These aren't extraordinary people. They're folks like you, wise, cautious, and brave enough to speak up. So here's what I hope you'll do. Grab that notebook. Start your medication list today. Every pill, every supplement dot. Jot down one question you'll ask at your next visit. Start small. Even one question is a triumph. Forgive yourself if you've been silent before. Today's a new beginning. We're almost done, dear friend, but not quite. There's something tender yet important still to share. How to talk to your doctor without fear, what to do if you feel rushed, and how to celebrate the victories, big and small. So pour yourself another cup of tea. I'll wait right here. When you're ready, we'll walk through that last step together, hand in hand, toward the life you deserve. There you are, my friend. I see you've poured that second cup. Good. Let's settle in for these final, tender steps. You've come so far. You've got your list of questions. You've started your health journal. You're ready to talk to your doctor. But what if your hands still tremble a little at the thought? What if you worry about taking too much time or sounding foolish? Let me tell you about my first visit with Dr. Evans. My heart raced like a sparrow's. I practiced my questions in the mirror, but when I finally sat down, clutching my notebook like a life raft, he leaned forward and said softly, "I'm so glad you wrote this down. It helps me help you." That's when I learned, your voice isn't a burden, it's a gift. Here's how to share that gift with confidence. Carry a small card in your hand. At the top, write, "My 2 biggest concerns today." Underneath, just 2 bullet points. Could my dizziness be from my new pill? Can we review my blood pressure med? Hand it to your doctor at the start of your visit. Say gently, "I know your time is precious. These are my top 2 worries. Could we focus here first?" Doctors are trained to prioritize. This tiny card tells them exactly where your heart is. My wise Aunt Pearl taught me this. If a question feels too scary to ask for yourself, frame it as a grandchild's worry. My grandson worries this blood thinner might be too strong for me. What would you tell him? It softens the room. It invites your doctor to become your ally, not just your authority. Did you ask one question today? Did you write down one pill's name? That's a victory. Treat yourself like you would treat your dearest friend, with a pat on the hand and a quiet, "Well done." After Helen's first brave conversation with her doctor, she bought herself yellow roses, Because, she said, I'm finally blooming again. Remember George? He told his bridge club about simplifying his pills. Now 3 of them asked their doctors the same question. Barbara's medication journal became a template at her senior center. Your courage doesn't just heal you. It lights the path for others. Look down at your hands. See the life they've lived, the gardens they've planted, the children they've held, the stories they've written. Those hands deserve to feel steady. That heart deserves to feel peaceful. That mind deserves to feel clear. It starts with a whisper, I matter enough to ask. So here's your gentle roadmap. Keep your health journal. Note new symptoms, moods, energy dips. Update your medication list monthly. Tape it to your fridge. Pick one question for your next visit. Write it down tonight. Breathe deep before you speak. You belong in this conversation. If Helen's story resonated, if George's courage inspired you, will you do me a kindness? Tap that like button. It tells me these words found their way to someone who needed them. Share your story below. Have you ever questioned a medication? What happened? Your words may help another soul find their voice. Click subscribe. Because next week, we're talking about the silent thief after 65. Are you missing this vital nutrient? But for now, dear friend, may your medicine cabinet hold only what truly serves you. May your body feel heard. And may your days feel lighter, brighter, and brimming with the quiet joy of being you. Until next time, be tender with your heart.